What's up, everybody? Everybody. What? Hey, you guys, I am just making sure that I am going live in the right group. So give me a minute. Oh, I'm here. We are here. Hey, everybody. Hola. Say hey as you come in. Let me know you're here. I am so excited to talk to you guys. If you haven't seen, ladies, I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited to come and talk to you about I want to say it's my first favorite subject to talk about next to women leadership. And it is the power of sisterhood and the power of compassionate inclusivity amongst women. So as you come in, just so I know you're here, say hey. And I want you to tell me, how the hell are you feeling today? Hey, y'all. Hey, Thelma. Hey, Rashawn. How are you feeling today? Say hey. Let me know how the hell you are feeling, because I'm feeling like boss as shit, y'all. Like boss as shit. Look, y'all, I got my boss ass jumpsuit on. I did my hair, y'all. I got my makeup just, woo! I feel good. And it's all because I get to chill with you ladies for the next 30 to 45 minutes. I'm going to try to keep this to 30 minutes, but sometimes I get going with this. So yes, I just drop some hearts, y'all. Show some love. Y'all, I just want to first and foremost, before I get into this, because it really aligns with the whole power of sisterhood. Hey, Sashana. You feel great. Hell yeah with that, ladies. Can I get a hell yeah? I just want to say, you ladies blow my mind and make me so freaking like high vibing, proud. I love all of you. Oh my God, I can't even explain how much life, seeing you guys just kick ass and grab life by the balls, has made me feel. Oh my gosh. So Rashawn, I'm trying to keep up with your hair. I mean, I don't think it looks anywhere near your level, but I'm trying, you guys. So yes, drop some hearts, show me some love, show yourself some love, say, I fucking rock, okay? If you don't cuss, you ain't gotta say that, but I like to say, before I got on here, I said, oh my God, girl, you are about to smack this one in the face. Okay. All right, you guys. So as you come in, say, hey, let me know how you're feeling, how excited you are. And yes, let's drop right into this. If you catch this on the replay, put hashtag replay. Let me know how you're feeling, all right? Because I love knowing how everybody's feeling. So without further ado, let me ground myself into this, you guys, because this message is different every time, but the core is there. So I am going to talk to you today about the magic of collaboration and compassionate inclusivity amongst women, and why I believe sisterhood is the new feminine. Feminism. Why sisterhood is the new feminism, you guys, okay? So there are 3 parts to this that I want to talk to you about, and I'm going to give you a couple examples of how this has worked in my life and what I see coming up with 2020 and the power that comes with it. But first and foremost, I want to talk about the lie that they told us and why this is bullshit, you guys, right? So many thousands of years ago, if you go and look back, we used to live in tribes. We were tribal people, all that fun stuff. But women used to have bands of sisterhood, right? We used to have tribes of women. And I'm even going to go so much as to say, even in the harem, it was a bunch of women. And even though that's a really out there concept to bring into it, if you go look at the things of the harems, it was a group of women that uplifted and loved each other. And there was even things called red tents in some tribes, where during the cycle of the moon and women's periods, they would come together and nourish and uplift and support each other during this time to work through these hard things. So what is the lie they tell us, right? So there are many ones, but the wonderful lie is that women cannot possibly succeed together. Women cannot possibly work together, because what are we? We're catty. We're bitchy. Oh, we're so shifty, right? We're judgmental. We'll stab each other in the back. Oh, women can't get along. Women can't compete. Right? And I call this bullshit. And I'll tell you why I call this bullshit. I call this bullshit because if they tell us that we can't get along, and the underlying subconscious message all along has been, hey, I can't trust her. she's shifty, she's shady, right? Because if you're like me, it used to be, well, I'm a lot better friends with men. I have a hard time being friends with women, right? So if this is the possibility to tell us this, and we believe it for many hundreds of years, you guys, and I'm talking about deep subconscious programming, what can they do? They can oppress us, right? They can oppress us, right? I believe it's Helen Keller that says, individually, we are strong. Together, we are powerful. So, if they are able to tell us this lie that women can't get along, that we can't be trusted, that we cannot be successful together, that we cannot rise together, what does that allow them to do, right? It allows them to oppress us, right? Because if we are told this, if we are ingrained to this, then it comes back to us and we don't recognize how powerful we are, both individually and together as a collective whole. So, what are the other lies they've told us feeding into this? Well, there's the other lie that there is not enough space for all women to be powerful, right? There's not enough space for all of us to be powerful. There's not enough room at the table. There's 10 spots, but women are only getting one, right? So if we're taught that there's not enough room at the table, what do? Well, survival of the fittest, you guys. Survival of the fittest. So naturally, yes, we are going to show up in our dominance and do what we have to do to make sure that we survive, therefore throwing away the possibility of actual tangible relationships between women. So this also feeds in the fact that we aren't taught these things. We aren't taught to be powerful. We aren't taught that women together are more powerful than we are separate, right? So the other part of it comes into place, and this is an interesting example that I learned, and I'm going to get out of the technical here in a minute, but I want to break some stuff down for you. So the thing that I realized also is, or I learned, is that there is what we grow up with, a lack of feminine nurturing or mothering wounds, right? How many of you ladies have come up and going through all this work, and we're going through this work, and we're dealing with this trauma, you come back and you go, oh my God, I had a mothering wound. Yes, some of us had the daddy stuff, but how many of you have come up and said, oh, I've had the mothering wound? Because guess what you say? I don't want to grow up to be like my mother. I don't want to grow up to be like my mother, right? And when we deny our mother, we deny a deep-seated part of ourself. Because what we see in our mother is a direct reflection of what we have in ourself. But if our mother was taught to deny herself, then what will we do? We will deny ourselves. We will deny who we are innately. And what happens is we walk around with these masks, and deep down, all we want is to be seen for who we are. So what I want to say, and why I call bullshit, is when we come together as women, we are allowed to remove our masks. We are allowed to unravel our souls and be held at our deepest core level, you guys. So the lie that women can't be trusted, the lie that women cannot get along well, the lie that women are bitchy and catty, that we can't be successful together, we can't rise together, is held there to not only oppress us, but to keep us from recognizing that we have this insane, intense power and energy. And when women come together, I don't know if you have seen this, but I have seen this, but when women come together, you guys, we get shit done. We get shit done. Women are proven in business to be much more effective leaders. We are proven to be much more effective team members, and we are proven to create much better cultures and teams within our companies, which is why you see so many bomb-ass women leaders. But you don't see a lot of bomb-ass women leaders running massive companies that make massive decisions, right? Because if we knew how powerful we were, y'all, we would be running the world, which we're on our way to. But anyways, so what happens when we really tap into the true power of sisterhood, right? What happens? So studies have proven that when women have a very core group of sisters, a tribe, a group of amazing women that build them up, we release more of the chemicals of oxytocin and the happy endorphins that make us feel better. We are less stressed. We are able to be more successful in business. We feel less alone, and we feel actually supported, and we have more fulfillment in our lives, you guys. You guys, and I'll tell you why this is so important, and why it's important, and to get deep down, besides underneath the power of sisterhood, is the power of the woman, right? Because the power of the pack is the wolf, and the wolf is the power of the pack. You guys, I can't. There's the saying. Okay, I kind of botched that up, but anyways, The power of the woman, it goes back to you guys, we have the power to generate new life, heal communities, create peace, and influence future generations. You guys, we influence future generations, right? Again, back to that tribe method. There are tribes these days where the women raise the future generation together, right? They all come together and they all take care of their kids. And I'm going to tell you how that's worked out in my own life. You guys, I got an army of women that stand behind me, and not just for me, but for my kids. I'm talking about an army of women, because I don't know how many of you are single parents, but if you are a single parent, let me get a hell yeah. If you are a parent and you just do the majority of the parent, let me get a hell yeah, because here's what happens, especially when you're a single parent. It is hard. You are playing both parents. If you are me, you are playing both parents, and it is hard, and it cannot be done alone. So what I have surrounded myself with is these powerful, amazing, supportive, nurturing women that have not only loved me at my core, but they have loved my children in place. And the beautiful thing about it is, what I can't teach my children, they are able to teach them. They add pieces and layers to their life that I can't add. Right? So what happens is, when we come together as a whole, as we come together as sisters, we have the ability to not only influence the generation, but to really heal our communities, come back to creating that community, that oneness, because at the core of all women, we have the ability to see the bigger picture, to see everybody as the whole. And I'm making sure, and I'm seeing this. Yes, powerful. Oh, say it. What? Right? So we have this power to really rewrite and reframe the things that have happened. You know, what do they say when it takes a woman to clean up a man's mess, right? And there is so much truth to that, you guys. So when we come together in that sisterhood, we are able to raise the level of the collective. We are able to shift the entire paradigm. Oh my gosh. So oh my gosh. Oh, you guys. So I'm looking at some of the other stuff I have my notes from my other speech. So, I want to talk a second. I want to go back again to that mother wound. I'm going to take a step back here. I want to go back to the mother wound. Okay. So this showed up in my life with my own daughter. When my daughter was 6, we went through a horrendous custody battle, me and her father, and she was pitted against me in court and utilized to testify against me in court, stating that I had abused her. And long story short on that aspect, it obviously was not the truth. When I ended up, first I had custody taken from me, but then I ended up getting custody back and everything rewritten. But what this caused was this massive disconnect within my daughter, right? And what I thought was a disconnect in how I felt towards my daughter was actually a disconnect that I had felt towards myself when I was growing up and I was very young. When I was very young, I always sought validation from my mother, and I always sought validation and nurturing and love from women, right? I always sought that. And I felt like I never received it from women. Men, it was a different story. Women, not so much. And so what happened was, when this situation happened with my daughter, it caused this massive disconnect. And I found myself unable to love my daughter the way that I should have. When my daughter wanted love, it was hard for me to reciprocate. You guys, it was hard to give my daughter a hug. There were times where I didn't want to hug her and I couldn't look at my child. And as a parent who loves their child beyond anything in this world, to sit here and say that I can't even love my child the way I feel I should was devastating to me. It was devastating. It was a hard thing to see. And for so long, this disconnect ran through me and it infiltrated every relationship I had. I found that I never trusted women. It was hard for me to talk to them. It's hard for me to be friends with them. And what was funny is, this whole time I was put in positions where I had to work with women. Lots and lots of women. But coming to this space of recognizing the disconnect within myself and the disconnect within my daughter went back to when I was younger, and that seeking of that validation and feeling as if I was always thrown off and I was never truly loved for who I was by a woman. And I remember diving through this and going through the inner child work and realizing, oh my God, my daughter became that inner child, that little girl that was always seeking love. And the universe literally gave me a physical manifestation of my own inner child. And what it taught me was that I had to go back and I had to heal that wound. I had to heal that wound, right? I had to recognize that my daughter was that physical representation of every single thing that I felt like I had not received as a child from my own mother. And when I went back and I looked, because in coming to this realization, you really have to take a step back and not only look at the way you were raised, but look at how your mother was raised and look at how her mother was raised. And when I went back and I really looked at the dynamic of my family, my mother had been through similar stuff. She felt that she had been unloved from her mother, and her mother was very unable to show affection as well. And bringing this in and tying this into this conversation, when for so long what has run through the subconscious of women, and it runs in children, like small children all the way up through adult, is this inability to acknowledge for other women to acknowledge other women. And it ties back into this whole thing of women can't be trusted, and we feel it. We feel it at a subconscious level, even though we maybe aren't aware of it. And what happens is we disconnect from that feminine source, from that feminine power, from that feminine tie that connects us all. And what this does is leaves us feeling alone, leaves us feeling powerless. Because again, back to sisterhood, when you have a core group of sisters, a tribe of women, man, you are so supported. I have never been more supported in my entire life than I am now. Oh, so Shauna, I'm going to talk about that in a second. All right, I'm going to talk about that in a second. When we heal this mother wound, we heal the trauma that has followed us through generations. Because you guys, the one thing I learned from dealing with this and working through this is a deep wound, right? So this is what I really want to get to. The real power of sisterhood is that we heal the wound, you guys. We heal the wound that tells us that we aren't enough, that we aren't powerful, that we aren't capable, that we can't do this, that we can't do that. The wound that says, oh, you're just a woman. But what sisterhood does is it heals the wound. Because by seeing the power within my sister, I see the power within myself. Heal the family story, yes. And that could be a whole nother one. That's another one I'll have to have one day, the inner child discussion. But when the true power of sisterhood is when we heal the sister wound, or when we heal ourselves, and through sisterhood, we heal the sister wound. We heal the wounds that we have gone and had through millennia. The wounds that keep us oppressed, the wounds that keep us from embracing our complete greatness, you guys. So the other part of it is when we show up in a space of sisterhood and compassionate inclusivity, we give women the permission to be enough, right? We give women permission to be enough. Because when I talk about compassionate inclusivity, I talk about seeing a woman for exactly who she is. And this is something I read earlier. Grace, it's about grace. Grace is about choosing to see someone for their heart, choosing to see someone for their heart and not for their behaviors, right? So choosing to see past the shit. So when I talk about compassionate inclusivity is being for all women and acknowledging them at a core level. And what this does is brings women into a space where they are actually provided that ability to heal and to deal with their traumas and to just be this person that they were created to be, right? I didn't introduce myself appropriately because I was so hypey when I got in here, but I am a women's empowered leadership coach, and I have the absolute privilege. Oh, and I'm the host of the Tough Woman Table for any of you who haven't on it. Shout outs to Kay for being on my show last night. And my entire mission is driven by not only helping women tap into their own potential and embrace their greatness, but I am also here to heal the collective feminine as a whole. All right, which is going to tie into a little bit about what I'm going into next. But I want to talk a second, Shoshana, about what you said. So I empower women. I've trained some in the past, got them jobs where I worked, and they came together to get me fired. So there's a really lovely book, and I'm going to put it in here because I have not gotten the chance to read it, but there's a TED Talk that goes with it. And it is called In the Company of Women. I'm going to get a thing. I'm going to sidestep off sisterhood for a second. So it is called In the Company of Women, and it is all about relational aggression within the workplace. And so and again, this ties into sisterhood. We have to ask ourselves, the question that the speaker posed is, why are women so mean to other women, right? Why do we sabotage each other? I'm talking about sisterhood and the collective rising and rah, and every woman supporting herself, but then there's that, right? And this is why I had such issues with women when I was younger, because you know what? I did work with women, and I'm just sitting there going like, how can you be this hateful to someone you don't even know? So In the Power of Women In the Company of Women talks about relational aggression within the workplace between women. So the way that this shows up is and again, this is what I'm talking about. The wound is really deep, you guys. The wound is way like inner child, deep child work, deep. So we are taught from a very young age, right? Women are taught. Now, mind you, boys are not taught this. I mean, boys are taught to share, but if you go back, look at your childhood. Look at children you know. What are they taught? Be nice. Or girls, be nice, be kind. Oh, be a good girl. Take care of everybody, right? Make sure you share everything you have with everybody, right? So we're taught to share and make sure that the collective, again, the community as a whole is taken care of, right? As women, we're nurturers, and as children, we are taught to be that nurturer, right? So what happens is that as we grow up, it's called the power break-even rule. And granted, there's a lot more to it, but it's called the power break-even rule. So what happens is that this is just one part of it, you guys. So I'm not claiming to know everything, but this is the one thing that I know, and I've actually seen this at hand. So it's called the power break-even rule. And so what that means is when we come into a space, right? Well, there's two parts of this. When we come into a space and we're all on even footing, we don't feel threatened, right? We don't feel threatened. But the moment one of us leaves the pack, because now we're all equal, we're all sharing, we're all taken care of on the same level, right? But the moment one breaks away from the pack, essentially, and goes into a realm of success that is above our own, it triggers that subconscious threat within us, right? And all of a sudden, this girl went from a sister to a nemesis. Now she's a threat. And this ties into the fact that we are told, again, that there are not enough seats at the table for us to all be successful. The only time we can all be together is when we are on the same level, right? So what happens is, and it's actually proven, especially in corporations, that female leaders run by a double bind, right? Female leaders run by a double bind. Either if they're too empathetic, if they're too compassionate, if they're too much in their feminine, if they're too much of a woman, they are seen as not leadership material. They're not taken seriously. They're seen as a sexual object. They're gratified, right? Or sexually gratified. So, but on the opposite spectrum, if she's seen to be ambitious, driven, authoritative, knows her shit, like me, if you're like me, you walk up in that room and you already know what the fuck's going on. All right? Listen. I used to work at a restaurant. I was the only female, right? I've worked in restaurants for a very long time before I ever did this. I was the only female on the line, right? And I killed it, y'all. Fucking killed it. I walked in one day to a catering event we had for a golfing event, and I have somebody tell me the time here so I don't get off, like super off key, but this dude had the nerve to go, "Are you here to wash dishes or prep?" Because apparently that's all women do in the kitchen. Said, "No, sir." I said, "You see that grill over there, that big ass grill?" I said, "I'm going to go run it right now." Thank you. So when you're like that, when you know you're the shit because you've embraced your greatness, you're seen as bitchy, right? The ice queen, asexual. She must be a lesbian, right? Oh, I bet you she's a real man eater. She must hate men. Ooh, wouldn't want to fuck with her, right? And so again, what this ties, so there's the double bind, there's that. And then again, we have that whole, there aren't enough seats at the table. There's 10 seats here, but only 2 are for the women. y'all, and again, the oppression aspect, right? Mic drop, what? So the oppression aspect, y'all, the Council for Women's Rights, the last time I checked, and I might be wrong, so y'all can double check because I didn't get time to check it, is all old men over the age of 60 on the Women's Rights Council. So tying back into the power of sisterhood, if they're able to keep us divided, if the lie is that we can't be trusted, we can't get along, there's not enough success or seats at the table for all of us, then guess what? They keep getting to control us. They keep getting to control us. The reason you see so much violence on women and the feminine as a whole right now is because the feminine is rising, you guys. And we're rising at a rapid, powerful rate. And the patriarchy can't take it. So naturally, what are they going to do? They're going to attack us. They are going to put us into a state of fear. They're going to tell us that we are better apart than we are together. And that's the lie. We are better together than we are apart. So let me tell you how this works in my life. Because of sisterhood, because of women, I have a global network now. I am blessed to say that I know a massive amount of you ladies in this summit. And because I know you, and I'm not tooting my horn in this way, but because I know you, you're here and you're spreading your message. And you're making connections and you're changing lives. Because guess what? You're fucking amazing. That is your greatness. That is what you are here for. Again, and that is what I am here for, is to show you how fucking amazing you are and how amazing we are together and what we can do together. You guys, when women get together, we make shit happen. We make shit happen, you guys. Have you ever seen a group of determined women? Look in the animal kingdom, all right? What happens? Women in lion packs, the lionesses, they do the hunting. And they hunt together in a pack because guess what? Together they are more powerful. Together they have strategy. Together they have structure. Together they have the ability to rise up. And what I don't have, another woman has. Because, you are so welcome, Susan. Because of sisterhood, I am almost to episode 50 in my show. Because 42 tomorrow, courageous ass women said, you know what? I see the vision and I'm going to share my story because there might be another woman out there that needs to hear it. There might be another woman that says, you know what? If she can rise up, I can rise up too. And I can rise up together with her. Oh, sorry, you guys. Phone call. Because of sisterhood, because of compassion, inclusivity, because of saying at a core level, sister, I see you and you have space here and you are safe here. I have seen women share pieces of their souls that they have never shared before in their lives. And because of that, I have seen other women go, oh my God, me too. And I have begun to see the healing of the deeply wounded feminine because these women were given that space and they were able to reciprocate that space and go, you know what? I see you as well. So, okay, yes, girl power, man. Fuck yeah. Fierce females, ladies. And just, sorry if you don't like cussing, but I cuss, all right? So, how can we be the catalyst for this? Because I am all about the woo, you guys. I love the woo. I can tell you all day long why you need to go have a core group of females. Tell you all day long. But I'm all about the do as well. All about the do as well. You got to bring it up from here to down here. All right, we're going to bring this into tangibility. So, the first and foremost, before you can show up for the feminine, you must show up for yourself. So what that means is doing the work. I talked a little bit about inner child work, right? So when we heal ourselves, we heal the collective. When we heal ourselves, you guys, I want you to put that in the comments. When I heal myself, I heal the collective. I have a quote over there that says, a woman who heals herself, heals her mother, heals her daughter, and heals every other woman around her. So you guys, when we start with ourselves and how we show up for ourselves, that is how we are going to show up for every other female. And also every other person in this world, all right? We have inner child. You'll have to tell me about that one. That sounds like a lot of fun, right? So when we do the work, yes, Susan. Susan, when we heal ourselves, we heal the collective. So when we do the work and we meet another sister who's been where we were at, we now have the ability to hold space for her to do her own work. So when we heal ourselves, we heal another woman who heals another woman who heals another woman. And therefore the power of sisterhood is that when we heal ourselves, we heal the feminine, right? All right. So, another one, this is the most important tenet of compassion and inclusivity, and it also comes with being sovereign and autonomous to self. So if we are to be for all women, we are to be for all women. But the side note from that is it is also good to cultivate. It is, yes, magnified healing. So we also want, this also, no, we don't want, well, we do want, but this teaches us to cultivate healthy boundaries. So when I talk about being for all women, it's not that you have to love every woman. You don't have to let every woman into your space. Again, cultivating those healthy boundaries. But it is taking a stand and saying, you know what? I'm not going to show up in that space where I'm going to trash you. I'm not going to show up in that space where I'm going to demean who you are at your core. It's not at that space where I'm going to feed into the lie and I'm going to be that stereotype and I'm going to be that example of that lie that is bullshit. Right? So being for all women is stating that by being myself and being for myself, I am allowing women that same space in the process. Again, you don't have to love every woman, but you got to let her be herself. You have to give her the space to go, you know what? You are enough as you are. I see you for who you are, and that is okay. You are everything you are meant to be, because in embracing our own greatness, we are showing another woman how to embrace her own greatness, right? Because what I don't have, she has, and that is her greatness, all right? So tying into this is being aware of old paradigms and lower level energies. So gossiping, sister sabotage within the work. We all heal in our own time. Side note before I dive into this, there's a I think he's called the anti-monk. He's called Osho. O-S-H-O, you guys. And he talks about compassion, which is where everything that I really stem myself out of compassion and inclusivity comes from. So his core tenet of compassion is that everybody is exactly where they're meant to be at the level. And that's okay. Everybody is where they're meant to be, and that's okay. And I'll tell you why that came out. I was talking to an older gentleman friend of mine one night, and I said, I'm saddened by the people that aren't awakened. And he said, why? Why would you be saddened by them? And I said, I'm saddened because they're not awakened. And he said, but it's not their time, maybe. And he said, and even by trying to awaken them before it's their time, you may actually be doing damage to him. He said, and remember, everybody is exactly where they're meant to be, and that's okay. I'm where I'm meant to be, and that's good. You're where you're meant to be, and that's good. And guess what? Because I'm okay with where I'm at, and because I acknowledge that you are exactly where you need to be, and that's okay, we can cohabitate together compassionately and inclusive. So what happens with sisterhood and how this works with compassionate inclusivity is when we heal ourselves, we heal the collective, we allow other sisters the space to go, you know what, I am exactly where I'm meant to be, and that's okay. Because guess what? We run our lives by the fact that we are exactly where we're meant to be, and we're okay. Our success is our success. Her success is her success, and we are no longer threatened by any of that. We are no longer thrown around by the waves of, oh, you can't be collectively successful. So, when we are aware of old paradigms and lower level energy, we are able to go, why am I triggered if we are triggered by another woman? And what does that bring up for me? And you know what? I'm not going to play into that anymore. So, and that ties back to doing the work. So when you do the work, you start becoming aware of the shit, you guys. You start becoming, and it is deep. The wound is deep. I'm just beginning to really super dive into it. And the wound is deep all the way back to being in pre-K. It is shown that in preschool level children, that girls are called on way less than boys. And that goes all the way out through high school, middle school, college. Girls are taught to be more quiet, meek. Don't speak out loud. Why are you interrupting? Right? This was my favorite. Don't speak when the man's speaking. right? So this is why the lie is so important. Women were created to be together, you guys. We are a communal type of person. Women are meant to be in community. Women are meant to be in tribes. Women are meant to be in sisterhood because there is power within the collective. Because we are for each other and for ourselves together, right? So we are created to be together, to collaborate, to support each other, and be this sacred community. You can go back all throughout history and see these examples of women being together and what is done. I read somewhere there's a tribe over in Africa and it's all women. And they all take care of the kids and they all are just thriving and they're building a business and they're supporting themselves and they are just killing it together. Because they know there is power within that. Sisters need to be supportive of one another and revel in their differences. Yes, our differences is what makes us who we are. That is our greatness. But the beautiful thing is our differences together make us a powerhouse. You guys, I have gone so much further in my business and just in my networking alone because I have sisterhood. Because I have been connected to people that I would not have been able to do it on my own. You guys, we are not meant to do this alone. All right? So, there we go. Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. Helen Keller, right? So, a wonderful quote that I came across the first time I wrote this speech was by Jane Fonda, and it's because our friendships, female friendships, are just a hop to our sisterhood, and sisterhood can be a very powerful force to give the world the things that humans desperately need. And that's where I talk about healing the collective. So when we heal that wound and we show that sisterhood and community and is a prosperous, successful, uplifting thing, we begin to show the rest of the collective that this is the way to be, right? Because we live in a world where we're so divided, and because we're so divided, because there isn't that power, there isn't as much power in the one as there in the collective, we are able to continue to be oppressed. We are told that we are alone. We are told that we are divided. We are told that we are separated, and because of it, we are continued to be oppressed. We are continued to be marginalized. We are continued to live under this oppression of the 1%, right? So, tying all this together, the true power of sisterhood is that we are able to heal ourselves and we're able to heal the collective together. We are able to put lies to the bullshit that they told us, or put truth to the lies. And we are able to rise up together and create an entirely new world. You guys, we are on the precipice of an entire paradigm shift, and it is being spearheaded by women. It is being spearheaded by women. And because we are doing the work, because we are showing up, because we are healing ourselves, and because we are saying, you know what, sister, you are not my enemy. You are not my enemy. We are able to not only give ourselves permission to be our own sister, but we are able to give another woman permission to be her own sister as well. And together, we can come together and be sisters together and create this amazing new thing, this amazing new possibility, this amazing tribe of women that rise up, that are successful. And we can create more community, we can create more connection, we can create healing within the whole. Because, sidestepping again, when women heal themselves, you guys, when we balance ourselves out, we balance the masculine out. You want to know one of the biggest another power of the sisterhood is when we balance ourselves out, ladies, we're going to balance the masculine out as well. Will there be resistance? Yes. But eventually the masculine will rise with us. So again, when we give ourselves permission to heal, we heal the collective in the process. All right. So that is way different than the first speech I gave, but y'all, I love talking about this. This sets my soul on fire. Having a tribe of amazing women has been the most life-altering thing I've ever had in my life. It has allowed me to heal deep, deep wounds that have prevented me from moving forward. I have had sisters from all over the world hold space for me. And because they've held space for me, it has given me permission to hold space for myself and to acknowledge that I am powerful, I am worthy, and that I am capable of achieving anything I want. And when you are held space by a sister in that capacity, it encourages you to go hold space for another one as well. So, I'm going to end this on a wonderful quote that I love. And I want to say thank you guys so much for being here. If you received anything from this nuggets, I know everybody commented, but if you received any nuggets from this, please let me know on the replay. But first and foremost, I want to say, you have always had the power. This is a quote. You've always had the power within you, dear. You just had to realize it yourself. And that's where sisterhood is. We've always had the power, ladies. We've always had the power, but we were told we didn't. And we believed it. And that's not our fault. We were killed, raped, plundered. I know that's not maybe not your word. But we were stripped of our dignity, our sexuality. We were told that we were objects for so long that we believed it. But the beautiful thing is, you guys, everything that they told us is a lie. And the opposite of it is that we are powerful. Yes, we are sexual beings, and that is our power, right? We are goddesses, ladies. And together, we move the world. So, the quote I want to end this on is by Louise Bernacow. And I found this quote, and I just fell in love with it. And it says, female friendships that work are relationships in which women help each other belong to themselves. So, you guys, the core tie through this is the true power of sisterhood, compassionate inclusivity, is that it not only allows us to heal ourselves, but allows us to heal the collective and feminine as a whole. And when we heal the collective feminine as a whole, we are able to heal the rest of the world, all right? And what do once we do that? We run this shit, of course. I had to take you out of the moment for a minute, but what happens when we get there? We run the world, girls, all right? So thank you so much for being on here. I have absolutely no idea. Oh, 5:42, Jesus. All right. I'm sorry if someone's coming up behind me. I hope not. But thank you guys so much for being on here with me. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for showing up for yourself in this. When you show up for yourself, you show up for someone else. And I'll end it now on the way in the show. When you give yourself permission to own your greatness and share that with the world, you give someone else permission in the same breath. So remember that, ladies. When you heal yourself, when you heal the wound, you heal the collective. That's the power of sisterhood. That's the power of compassion and inclusivity. Thank you so much. Much love to you guys. If you would love to reach out, I'm always on Facebook. I'm getting ready to drop some awesome shit in 2020. It's going to be bomb, y'all. Rashawn, this is going to be I have 3 keynotes, y'all. I'm massively that's my greatness. I'm about to, y'all, 2020 is going to be the bomb. So find me on Facebook. Hit me up. I host the Tough Woman Table for all women who want to come on, share their story, and empower the living frickin' shit out of the collective. Get your ass on my show. Holler at me. Again, I'm a women's empowered leadership coach. I'm getting ready to drop some awesome badass shit. I'm so excited. 2020 is going to be the bomb. I'm about to have all these women up in here unleashing their leadership potential, embracing their greatness, and creating life that turns them on. Because y'all, who doesn't want to feel orgasmic as shit all day long? I do. All right. So anyways, ladies, hit me up on Facebook, follow me, contact me. Yeah. And let's kick ass in 2020, ladies. Y'all are my sisters. And my success is your success. It is our success. It is the collective success, all right? Much love to you guys. Have an awesome night. Thank you so much for Rashawn for letting me be on here. I'm so blessed that I got to do this again. I will forever go to my grave talking about how beautiful sisterhood is. And yes, the keynote speaker, one day this is going to be a keynote on TEDx. I'm thinking Oprah too. Maybe some other places. But you guys, embrace your greatness. You are fucking worth it, all right? Much love. I'm off now. Bye.